Hooray, it's me, the person, the bird. Happy Thanksgiving, anyone. That's me dating this video for when it was created. Yeah, so I chose Big Bird because that felt the most Thanksgiving appropriate, a bird. I mean, I understand it's not a turkey, but close enough. So yeah, is that we're back at it again. If you've seen previous ones, I've uploaded these to YouTube, of course, which streamed them previously. Five. I think we're up to five different videos now, so this should be number six. If I'm wrong, then whatever, it's not a big deal. The only thing I made sure to do after the fact when I watched the previous one back, I wrote down specifically to myself that I had forgotten to um rate Jack X specifically, which was kind of like an oopsie daisy moment, you know what I mean? Really screwed the pooch on that one, as is often said. So, let's just quickly rate Jack X. Obviously, as a Jack game, I think what had happened is, I talked about it, but then I didn't actively give it a score. So, where's Jack X? Jack X is here. Just to recap with Jack X, I like it a lot. Coming back to it, like, several years later, I felt like it was a little bit more grindy than I had remembered, and so it wasn't as fun as I had hoped it would be. But I did grow much more of an appreciation for the soundtrack, I will say. I think it's the most consistently well done soundtrack of the entire series, even though there's songs from other games I enjoy more, specifically Jack 1 and 2. I don't really give a shit about most of the soundtrack on Jack 3 at all. There's a couple songs I don't mind, but I don't actively really like from the soundtrack from the limited games runs that had like the entire soundtrack of all the games. So in terms of a score, I mean I don't know, like a seven. Like it's fun, but yeah, I mean I wouldn't put it anywhere near the other games personally. So this was the one Wild Arms 3. This was the one I had initially went out to rate, right? I had said like on the previous stream, okay, we'll start with Wild Arms 3. So now let's actually get to Wild Arms 3. This game, for anyone that doesn't know, the Wild Arms series is like a turn-based RPG series. Look it up if you want. Wild Arms 3 particularly is like a cool cowboy western setting. So it's like a Japanese, JRPG set with like western aesthetics. And the whole idea is like the world is completely like dried up, save for like there's like sand deserts and shit, but like water is scarce and shit like that. And so you're trying to figure out like how did this happen, right? And also, so there's like four different characters you have in your party, and then they all meet up through story plot reasons. Da, da, da. And there are these people that can control these magical beings. So in terms of how I feel about the game, I think it's an amazing game. I love the soundtrack. I played this game quite a bit as a kid. Uh, borrowed was it? I think it was given to me by a family friend, like the kid of like the family friend, right? And on the what would you call it? Like on the slip on it, like someone had written what do you write? Like Pokemon or something, like PS2 Pokemon or I don't know, like something like that. And I didn't really like at the time it felt like it made sense and now it doesn't as much. There is an aspect, I guess you could say, about like when you do collect guardians for your characters to have, but it's not like it's not really like it's not even like close to Pokemon, and I guess also because it's turn based, right? But otherwise, like it doesn't really share anything in common with Pokemon at all. But yeah, I very much love Wild Arms 3. I will say, in terms of playing it, it is a little frustrating in the sense that like it's difficult to navigate without a guide. And so I actively used a guide when I finally came around to beating it. There's several times throughout my life as like a kid when I would get to. There's a part where you fight like knights that have different colored armor, which is partway through the game. One of the biggest issues I have with the game is that there are certain areas you can't access at all, even if you can find the area, because there's this whole scanning mechanic in the game, right? You hit square and it scans a particular area on the world map, like your character walking on the world map, which is a really cool visual, by the way. And that's where random encounters would pop up and such. But I have the issue with that because even if an area is clearly there, if you aren't at the part of the story to be able to like go to that area yet, like you don't have the reason to go to that area, a lot of times you can't find it, which is very frustrating. I can understand if there was like a story reason why like something couldn't be found. Um, for example, maybe it's like, oh, like this sandstorm just happened in this. There's not really a situation like this as far as I know, but like, say a sandstorm happens and uncovers like a certain like cave area that you can go into, right? So I wasn't able to do it before because the sandstorm wouldn't happen before. So that feels like that would make sense. But there's a lot of cases where it's not like that. It's just like, okay, there's obviously like a big ass temple here that you should have been able to see pretty easily, and you just weren't able to find it. And so that makes it annoying because you'll go through an area, and I mean there are clues in the game, but it is somewhat difficult sometimes to track down exactly. And so a lot of times it's just spent walking on the hub world and like hitting square a bunch as you're going through to try to scan stuff. And so yeah, I would say because that is important. Like, I mean, yeah, you can use a guide, but like the fact that you have to use a guide with it is very annoying. But I don't want that to go too much against it because I do enjoy the combat a lot. You can upgrade like the guns you get, and the guns are varied in terms of like you have a girl with like two revolvers, um, a guy with like a shotgun, another guy with a machine gun, and then another one with a sniper, and they all excel at their own things as you're using them. Like the sniper dude's just fucking cracked with how like cool his like how much damage he does, and they all have magic abilities too, which is nice. And so because of these guardians that they have, and you can actually place them on different characters and such. But then they also have like some innate abilities too. Like Pistol Chick has like a Gatling ability, which is like really dope, and the Sniper dude has a lock on ability that makes it like where you can't miss your target, and does way more damage, like a critical damage thing, which is pretty cool. They can have a bunch of different what would you call it, like magical abilities on the characters, and then as you build up enough, you can do like supers and such, ultimates if you want to call them that. So it's like, oh hey, I'll freeze this character, and that's good because this character takes more damage to ice damage, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. And I think the story's pretty neat too. I've read up a bit past this to like get the idea of like how this connects to the wider world of Wild Arms, like as a series. Because the only ones I have personally played is I played Wild Arms 3 to completion, and I played a little bit of Wild Arms 5 on the PS2 back in the day. Like I rented it for a bit, probably made it about like a tenth of the way through, and then I ended up sending it back through GameFly. Not because I didn't dislike it or anything, just I think it's probably another one of those cases where I wasn't really knowing what to do, and so it's just like whatever. But yeah, so these games do connect quite a bit. Like, there's a robot character in 3 that was in like previous games, so that's neat. And then there's like some flower girl. But this isn't like the recap the entire story of Wild Arms stream. This is just the I'm talking a lot about the game because the game very much interests me in terms of the story and the gameplay and such. It's definitely one of my favorite RPGs, and I don't know if I want to say the first RPG I've ever played. It can't be the first RPG because Super Mario 64 would have been. But I think it's the first probably turn-based RPG. Well, no, not even that because like Pokemon. It's one of the most. It's one of the formative turn-based RPGs I could say, or just RPGs in general, right? Like for me, this is a good contender of like top 10 PS2 games I've ever played. Um, if it's not on that list, it's damn near close. It's definitely top 20, almost certainly top 15, maybe top 10. But because it is so annoying to traverse the map and know where you're supposed to go next and such like that, I would have to knock it down a couple points. So instead of it, I would say probably like an 8. It has so much charm oozing out of it. Shout out to taking a drink of something. Cool. Okay, GTA 5. Did I already rate? This is the problem with checking back for shit like later. I wish these things would. Every time you earn a new okay, so we okay, that's PS3 version. Every time you earn a new trophy, it shuffles the order of which you get these things, which becomes an issue if in terms of like trying to figure out what games you played for. I'll just use Control F. Yeah, this is a PS5 version, which whatever. Yes. Okay, so I've already done PS4. So PS5 is going to be saying, PS4 is going to be saying like, oh boy, there's a first person mode now. Ooh, yeah. I mean, that's neat, and that does add to the game, but not enough for me to like score it differently. I don't really care. Um, Arkham City, same deal, really. So whatever. Already rated it. My Name is Mayo. It's obviously a shitpost game, but it was only like what, like $1 or $2. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, it's a clicker game where you just like you're clicking just a jar of mayonnaise the entire time. But I think it's funny. Like I think the dialogue and stuff that they write for it is adds fun little like they know it's a shitpost, like they're not trying too hard. Trying too hard is a thing I'm gonna levy at one of the other games in the series later on if we make it to that. But yeah, I think it's fine for what it is. Funny, it's definitely a one and done game. But I enjoyed it quite a bit. So just can I mean, so here's the thing: it has to be great on the scale that it's only $1 game, so you're getting what you paid for. So for it being $1 game, I would say it's like a 6. Now, there are games on this that I would rate lower. Like for example, mine like the idea of like My Name is Mayo being rated higher than Minecraft. But that like it has to be with that caveat of I'm not, My Name is Mayo took a lot less time. I platinumed in 28 minutes. 28 minutes for like a couple funny jokes and like $1 worth of my time was way more than like a massive whatever Minecraft thing where like I'm not really into crafting my own world of doing shit, sandboxy shit. Like there's obviously sandbox games I do play, Sleeping Dogs, GTA, stuff like that. But the problem is, or not the problem, the difference rather is that there's a more cohesive way to traverse the sandbox. Like, hey, here's the thing you could do, and then the sandbox is the break from that. Whereas like Minecraft, the sandbox is the game, and then the break from that, I guess, is if you I don't know, want to do the one piece of content that's like story, which is just beat the dragons at the end, I guess. But whatever. God of War Ascension. I came way back to this later. I have a annoyance with God of War Ascension. Let's take a look at this. You'll notice that my initial trophies on this were 2013, and I didn't go back to the game until 2018 for like the last couple. Or sorry, most of these are from 2018, but there's a few from 2013. So what happened there, right? Also, I should note that it's funny that I came back almost 5 years later. I mean, I finally got it in like the August or whatever, but yeah, that's pretty close to October. But this game, the only reason because I enjoyed God of War 1, 2, 3, and the PSP games, Ghost of Sparta and um, Chains of Olympus. I enjoyed all those games quite a bit, played them a bunch. This is the only God of War game I had platinum. I got close to platinuming one because what happened is I played one on PS2, and then quite a bit later I played God of War 2 on PS2, and then I got the PS3 collection. So because I had played 2 recently, I didn't play 2 on PS3. And I almost got the platinum on PS1. At least I almost got like all the stuff from like the main playthrough. And I missed a couple chests, and so I wasn't able to max out something. I imagine I probably went over that at some point in the past here, but it kind of annoyed the ever loving shit out of me. So I never went through and completed it. Yeah, see, so I would have already went through these. So I'm not going to rate the games again, but just to showcase what I'm talking about. I got all the trophies except for obviously the Challenge of the Gods. Beat the game in any difficulty in under 5 hours. Max Out All Weapons and Magic is the one I missed because I missed a couple chests for like both of them. Even though I felt like I was going through like all the areas, so like it really annoyed me. It's just one of those I would have to probably go through with a guide and do. And I could do it honestly if I really like put my mind to it. And someday I might, but especially because they're not online trophies, and so I could pretty easily go back and do that. But yeah, with God of War Ascension, the problem is, so I did enjoy those other games. I wanted to play God of War Ascension quite a bit. I was like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I'm down with this shit. But the problem with that is that the game was just buggy at launch. So it was just completely an issue of glitches, like, or like the game would freeze several times, and it's not just like, okay, the game freezes, whatever, right? Like, just start it up again. That's not the problem. The problem is that the game would like freeze and it would fucking corrupt your save file, which is a big deal. So like, there's a span of a day where I played for like, what was it? Oh, happy Thanksgiving, Gypsy. Hey, what up, Bathory? Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Figured I'd get in a stream for, like I tried to look through my list of games I had, and none of them really said Thanksgiving to me. The only one that kind of got close was like Garfield World Tour on PS2. It's just like Garfield going around the world eating. And I don't know if there's like a Thanksgiving level in that, but like eating was like close. But I was just like, whatever. So I guess we're thankful for games, and so I'm rating games. But yeah, Ascension had the issue of, yeah, your save file would get corrupted and deleted. So the span of one day, like the span of 8 hours, I had my save file fucking deleted 3 times in the span of one day, and so that obviously really really pissed me off because the fact that it got deleted once and I kept trying, and then it got deleted again, and then I kept trying, and it'd get to about the same spot. Really, there's like a spot with not like every time. I think at least 2 of the times I definitely got the same spot where there's like a part with a snake. You have to slide down like some snake's mouth or something because you're making some big puzzle thing with the snake. And it just like, yeah, that just annoyed the hell out of me. So I just said like, I'm not gonna play this game anymore, right? And so I didn't touch it for a few years because that soured the experience for me. And I would have to assume if it's 2018, I would have to assume maybe because of the new God of War. When did the new God of War come out? Uh, of War 20. I think it's 2018. Yeah, it is 2018. So that would have been specifically me trying to do that in time for like the new game, and I never did play the new game. So that's take for that what you will, I guess. I have. Well, good. I don't remember what I have as in reference to. Sorry, I'm like hopping back and forth. I have it open on 2 different tabs, but like I don't have like dual monitors, so like I gotta hop back and forth between the because I don't want to like right now I'm looking at Twitch, but you can't tell I'm looking at Twitch because I have the thing that's monitoring the web page. I have it like open on a completely different web page. And I didn't want to shrink everything on either one because that kind of screws with things. So I'm just clicking back and forth between the tabs or like the windows rather. But anyway, so the game pissed me off. I came back to it years later, whatever, right? And then I did it all. What sucked about this game though is this was the era of games where you had to buy multiplayer passes for the games because they were trying to kill pre-owned sales. So like the idea is like, oh, if you want to buy the game pre-owned, then you have to buy the DLC, like the multiplayer pass DLC, for $10. Other games that did something similar, I think God of War 3 might have done something like that. I know for a fact Last of Us did. Which luckily for Last of Us, either mine was in the packaging anyway, even though I did buy it pre-owned, or they just released it for free eventually, like that particular part of the DLC. DLC, I say loosely. Pretty much, they're just trying to strong arm people into fucking paying for this dumb shit. So I had to pay $10 of a deal. Like I had to get on in 2018. I had to get on the PlayStation Store with $10 and buy a pass to play the training of the multiplayer. Even though I think the multiplayer is dead, but like the training was still up. And so all you had to do is like the tutorial shit. And so I was able to get the platinum. So that really like I paid $10 for a platinum pretty much. But for me, like I had bought the game used initially. And so it's kind of like, whatever, right? Like get money to the actual developers with that. It's a game I did enjoy. I mean, I don't think it's anywhere near as good as the other, like the mainline God of War games, but it's good. I'm having an issue with saving data now on all of the games. What, like all the games on your PS5? Yeah, it's not good. Yep, now it's microtransaction. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm thankful for older games. I guess I'll say I'm definitely not one of those like back in my day people. Like, don't get me wrong. I grew up playing NES games and Nintendo 64 games. We never had an SNES, but I mean, yeah, I look at like the graphics of a lot of those 64 games, and I'm definitely not a graphic guy. Like would play like PS2 for me is like right where like graphics are not too bad. Graphics look pretty rough on the PS1, then 64. Like Super NES and regular NES, those look pretty nice because they're pretty stylized. Imagine Echo Arc showing off for listed. Oh, I did swap to Echo Arc. I must have hit a number when I was typing. Get out of here, Neko Arc. It's supposed to be a big bird for Thanksgiving. Hey, what up, Peach? How you doing? But yeah, I mean, yeah, PS2 was obviously my era, so maybe it's a little unfair to say that. But like at the same time, it's one of those cases where like I feel like the art progressed enough to where like they actually look like people, and even if the art style doesn't look, like PS1 was just like the really awkward era, like the teenage, acne filled, whatever era where like it just doesn't look good. It's like you got to try at some point to go 360. It's the same way that I look at Atari and I'm like, man, this just does not look like fun to play at all. Um, but it is what it is. But yeah, with newer games, it's I like newer games when there's like I still like single player games a lot, but like a lot of the multiplayer games are just frustrating as a motherfucker because of like this predatory microtransaction filled bullshit. Like it's just it's unfortunate. So where was I up? I gotta get back up to wherever the hell. Yeah, okay. There's Wild Arms 3. We already talked about My Name Is Mayo. Got a worse mention. Life is Strange. Is this the first mention of Life is Strange? Are we finally getting to Life is Strange as a concept of ranking things? Nah. Okay. See, I would have already ranked Life is Strange before the storm and the original Life is Strange. Okay, that's fine. So okay, so we're luckily we can skip this Life is Strange for now, but we haven't done 2 or 3, which is like a whole thing. Okay, Mr. Misage. God, this fucking game. This game is this game is just some shitty like romance game. I haven't slept at all. I'm good. No, well, happy Thanksgiving, Peach. Good that you're sleep deprived. Anyway, this is like game with like shitty art style with like generic dating, whatever. And the idea is like you say the right you get like dates through an app, and then you go on dates with them, and you like say the right text options, and they give you a massage. And the idea is the controller vibrates, and you're supposed to put it on your neck to simulate getting massaged. And I mean that sounds creepy because it is, but it's also written kind of funny, I feel like. And just the whole concept is so fucking ridiculous, and because it's so cheap, along with My Name Is Mayo, I believe it's the same developer actually, or at least the same studio that put it out. And so with that in mind, like again, like I mean, it's a 5. It's whatever. It does what it needs to. It's like funny for a cheap laugh. But yeah, I mean, it does seem kind of like hello, Big Bird. Hey, Mary, how you doing? Happy American Thanksgiving, since I know you're Canadian, so and you're not celebrating with us, but just enjoy the spirit of a big bird that's not a turkey, but is some sort of form. Actually, what the fuck is Big Bird? All right, we gotta find out now. What type of bird is Big Bird? Okay, what are you? What the fuck? What is this? I don't like this. Anyway, okay, just a yellow bird. Yeah, what exactly? Yeah, give me the answers. Studiofun.com/blog. Um, God, all right, we're sorry, we're going on a tangent now. We got to find out what. Okay, there are a lot of answers. On a 1976 Hollywood Squares appearance, among others, Big Bird identified himself as a lark. Yo, Big Bird identifying himself? Let's go. Trans icon, Big Bird. When he visited Mr. Rogers' neighborhood in 1981, he claimed to be golden condor. Sometimes he says he's a canary and that his scientific name is Bigus canarius. All right, he's still trying to figure out his identity. That's fine. Sometimes with some people, they got to go through a journey to really nail it down. Um, it's a and nobody needs to be pigeonholed. See what I did there into a specific type of thing in their life. Live free is what I say. Big Bird is a yellow giant canary. Well, good job, Mary. You figured out. I was gonna say Blue's Clues, but this is Sesame Street. So happy American Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for all of you. Thank you very much, Mary. I'm thankful to all you too, and not just as a streaming thing, but because obviously I know you all besides streaming and hang out sometimes with you through either PlayStation or Discord or such. So that's fun. Same. Yo, Peach. Did you ever think, Peach, that like I never would have guessed Big Bird would have been the trans icon. I would have guessed it would have been Noma. Or no, wait, hold on. Maybe I don't know. Because you got Bird and Ernie for like the who even though they say that they're not homosexual. I mean, whatever, man. We can have our ace, you know, life partner situation. Representing the aces out there. Feel like he could be a trans icon if he wants to. He. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking in a second to point it out. But like on the picture where I'm not talking for this, he does look like he kind of has the trans programmer socks. Like, right? I mean, a little bit. I mean, I know it's his legs, but like, yeah, just a little bit. It just has that little bit of, like pink to it. You know what I mean? Not because just because they're pink, but like I don't know, just like the ring, the way the rings look. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm gonna get a hot cocoa because I deserve it. Hell yeah, we stand drinking things that you want to drink because you feel like you deserve it. Cocoa's pretty cool. It's been a while since I've had a hot cocoa. It's one of those things where it's like you don't really have it that often, or at least I don't. But like when you're in the mood for one, you're like, damn, I really want a hot cocoa right now. My Thanksgiving dinner is hot cocoa and a sandwich. Nice. Yep. I I got to have cold, decent Thanksgiving dinner. Had was it mashed potatoes, gravy. It was like a mushroom gravy too, which as a kid I wasn't into mushrooms, but now I'm like, dude, mushrooms are my life. Like put mushrooms and everything. And turkey and stuffing. I mean, stove top stuffing, but whatever. I like it. Mushrooms are okay by me. Hell yeah. We bought this thing from Costco. It's called like a. Let's see. Let me search this up on this other tab real quick. Pumpkin spice roll Costco. Damn it! Show me the picture, you coward. There we go. Yeah, I should be doing this more often. Actually, pulling it up on this and then just copy and pasting. Don't want to be leaking anything. Anyway, yeah, pumpkin spice loaf. This thing's fucking. This thing's awesome. Big fan of this. Yep. Had a little bit of it today. They had it as like one of the free samples, and it's like, okay, yeah, I'll try it. It's like, oh wow, this is fucking pretty good. And we bought it like on the spot. Anyway, what do we got? We got Nier Automata. Man, there's a. Okay, so I've never played the other Nier game. I played Automata. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I like the story a lot. I like that there's a bunch of different endings. Obviously, a lot of them are joke endings. I get that, but that's fine too. But then there were some serious ones. The fact that you were able to go through the full story and then go through like another part of an ending with a different character and such was neat. The combat was good. The visual, the fact that it made kind of like there's certain bullet helly parts, and then there's obviously the hack and slash parts and such. The environment was really beautiful to look at, like a destroyed Earth type of deal. I don't remember if it was actually Earth or not. It's been a while since I played the whole thing, but I remember like a lot of the big twists of like, oh, this character's actually this type of character, and these things that are supposed to be cool with us are actually kind of not. So that's that sort of deal. But this game also allowed you to just buy trophies, which is weird. Like not for real physical money, but like in-game currency, you could just buy to unlock trophies, which is really neat. See, can I order this in terms of earned? Right? Where's earned? Yeah. Okay. If I order it, okay. No, see, this isn't like order of like earned. Yeah, you want to order it, right? Oh, date. Duh, that's what date's for. Okay, we're good. We're fine. I couldn't figure out Blue's Clues, but we figured it out. Anyway, there's only one of these I did end up buying. Actually, I think there's two of them I bought, and then one I ended up doing legit afterwards. And what would that have been? I definitely bought the 20 different kinds of fish caught. Like, I was like, screw it, I don't want to catch fish. It's not, like, I easily had the ability to do that, but it was just grindy for the sake of grindy. And it's like, this doesn't really help me at all in the game, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just buy it. Likewise, I believe I bought the one that has all weapons upgraded to the highest level because at the time I just wanted the trophy, and then as I played the game more, I got that naturally. It was either that, like, I'm pretty sure it was that one. It's either that or the endings, but like, either way, like one of those two I definitely bought and then did later, but I just wanted the trophy then and there. But yeah, I beat it. It's good, fun game, love it. What's next? Batman: The Enemy Within. So that's the second season, the Batman Telltale thing. Hot cocoa with ice cream. Ooh. I don't know if I've never done that combo before. That's definitely an interesting combo. But I can see the appeal of it, like a hot and cold situation. That'd be weird though. Be willing to try it though. Mushrooms are yummy. Hell yeah, they're. BRB went to McDonald's. Alright. Be sure to pick me up a quarter pounder with cheese. No pickle, please. And if you have to get up there and be like, he said no pickle, then you're gonna have to do it. I want coffee. Well, too bad, no coffee. Coffee sucks. This is a coffee hater zone here at GD Gypsy Incorporated. Um, sorry, I'm in an ad. Oh no, Peach. Peach is stuck in an ad. I'll type something out in chat. No, okay. I'll send help Peach. No one should be stuck in an ad. The fire department is on its way. Good. Gonna put ice cream inside the. Ooh, that's fucking. Ooh, it's kind of weird. That's kind of weird, but I want to try it. I'm not opposed to it, but my brain is like that's kind of like not really my thing. I don't like pickles. Yeah, I don't like pickles either. They suck. Two more ads. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's fun time in Adland, of course. But yeah, uh, I'll wait to say what I was gonna say once the ad finishes. But while we're doing that, I'll just quickly go back to what the purpose of the stream is. Okay, Batman the Animated Film, Telltale Season 2. I liked it. Didn't think it was amazing or anything. Thought it was alright. But yeah, it is what it is. Like I'll be honest, I really don't remember much of the game at all. I th- I think like Riddler was the main thing in it, and he was kind of like menacing in it, and that was about it. But I don't remember anything else about it. So the fact that it left no impression to me, I'm gonna have to rate it a 5 because even though I didn't dislike it, I don't think it was. I don't remember it being as good as the first one, and I just don't remember it. Serious. It's whatever. Ooh, Crossout. Is that the first instance of Crossout? Oh, dude, Crossout's like a. Yeah, it is too. I love when I accidentally click on a different application on my computer, and then I'm like, that sucks. Now I gotta just sit here and wait for it to open so I can close it. Never. Yeah, anyway, what I was gonna say before is, yeah, funny ad land. I changed it to where it's a minute and a half of ads every 30 minutes instead of it being a minute of ads every 20 minutes because less frequent ads. Felt it was a little bit, I might change it more past that, but I was like, whatever. Although with you, Mary, Mary, don't you have yours? It's like a whole ass 3 minutes every hour, which is fine. Like everyone does the funny little balancing act of what the hell we're gonna do. But finally back, snap back to reality. Oh, there goes reality. Oh, there goes my sense of reality. Yeah. Does that count as a song reference? I suppose it does, even though it's not technically a real song. That's me when I Mom Spaghetti song, where it's well, I don't even know. But yeah, still no McDonald's. You suck, guy. You know, you were only allowed here because of you bringing McDonald's. You're like the kid that like. Okay, I'm not gonna say that because that's rude. I don't actually believe that, but I was gonna say. I preface this where I don't actually believe this. This is just a joke. But I was gonna say you're like the kid nobody likes, which is the part that made me feel bad, and so I didn't want to say it. But the idea of like the kid that like gets invited because he can bring alcohol to the party. I don't like you though, Mary. Don't think I don't like you. I was gonna bring McDonald's. Hell yeah, nuggets galore. Anyway, Crossout. Crossout's awesome. Well, Crossout's like frustratingly awesome. Let's just say that. With Crossout, it's like a whole thing of like, oh, here's a game. It's a free game. There's no platinum, but that's fine. Where a friend got me into it. It's called Craft Ride Destroy is like the tagline underneath it, and that's probably the best way to describe the game. You're crafting vehicles from like mismatched parts after some sort of apocalyptic event, kind of like a Mad Max kind of ish type of world. Twisted Metal is a game that a lot of people compare it to, actually. So you're crafting parts out of like mismatched whatever. You throw them in battles, and you're fighting people in your standard like it's kind of like War Thunder and stuff like that. The way the battles go out, where you're either capturing areas or killing everyone on the enemy team, sort of deal. It's all good. Hell yeah. Friendship is the true winner of today, ladies and gents. Sometimes I don't know where sense is going when I start, and I just let it go off. Go off, Queen. But yeah, anyway. So cross out. So it'd be a cool thing where like you build certain vehicles, and like, oh hey, if I shoot off all the weapons on an enemy's vehicle, then they can no longer shoot you. Or if I shoot off like all the wheels on a certain side, they can only spin around in like a certain way. If they have enough wheels, they might be able to like in the weight distribution, they might be able to drive it. They probably won't be able to, or at least not as well. So there's that sort of deal, right? But yeah, Crossout. I mean, it's a free game, so it's hard to complain too much about it. And the game has seen such a major shift since I started playing in 2018. Like even graphic wise alone, it just looks amazing. It's one of those games where you're buying like packs for the game. I've definitely put probably like $100 into it total because I only buy the packs when they're half off, and I don't buy all of them. I've just bought like a couple of them that were very specifically useful. And some of the stuff from some of the packs that I bought like early on, I still use to this day. So they've definitely lived their usefulness for me. So because I was trying to be very strategic with how I went shit. So, but if we're talking a game, I still like. I kind of like this year. I kind of fell off the game, but like we'll say from for 4 years there, 2018 to 2022, I played the game like a lot. This is one of the games with like the most hours I have into it by far. In fact, I wonder if I can search that real quick on my PlayStation app to see, because it would have been one of the games I touched recently, and I'd rather not open. Damn it! It's not one of the last 3 games I just played, so it won't pop up on the list. I'd have to actually turn on the PlayStation, and I don't feel like doing that. Oh well. Just know that I've put like thousands of hours, like multiple thousands of hours into it. Says that. But yeah, there's some frustrating things about it. Teammate distribution is just like wild at times. You get stuck with like the most annoying people. The balancing is the thing is they do balance their game, but they take way too long to do it. And so there's just certain things that'll be like meta for like fucking like half a year to like a year, and then they finally fix it, and it's just like this is like it's nice that you fixed it, but now it's like it's annoying. Like one of the things that's currently in the meta that they haven't fixed, and it's been there for like a year, is there's these little like mine layers that are called kings, and the idea is like they drop and then they take like a quarter of a second, like I don't know, like half a second or something, right, to prime, and then if an enemy gets like if any sort of car gets close to it, that's either you or like an enemy, it blows up, which I think it's just if an enemy goes near it. It blows up, but it can damage you if you're near it. So the idea is people are just like driving by people laying down the mines and just blowing the shit up. Now it's not going to matter too much in the bigger builds, but it does matter a lot in the smaller builds. Which so it's really just like made to sit there and like it's called seal clubbing, where you're pretty much just beating up on newer players, and it's a game where like the every piece you put has certain types of powers on it. So like how strong your build is directly correlates to what type of lobbies you get put into as like a balancing, which I think overall is a good balancing. But the problem is with that particular gun or with that particular thing, you can place so many mines down and so quickly, and they do so much for damage wise that like it needs to be changed a certain way, either like the space of the time of how much you can like when it takes to put down the next one needs to be changed, or like the capacity or like the power score or something needs to be changed where it's not as overpowered as it is. Especially when it's used in conjunction with another mine layer called a cap can, which is just a tethered, like you drop it down, just a tethered wire. So what happens is it places a tethered wire which sticks to the other vehicle. Like if it drives by, it gets stuck by the wire, and it fucking traps you in. And then people just come by with those cap cans and they just like lay them down next to you as you're stuck, and you end up blowing up on it. You know what I mean? Like it's a very annoying process, and they did nerf the cap cans semi recently, like a few months ago, but like it took a long time even to do that. So I'm expecting them to take even longer for this shit, which is annoying. Also, just general, sometimes teammates are bad, which I mean that's you never get around to, like away from that. But the problem is there's no single player game like based version of this game, so that can be annoying. Also, like the game is half filled with bots. Like you can it used to be 8 to 8, like 8 versus 8, and now it's like 6 versus 6. And so usually half your team is bots, like it'll be 3 bots and 3 players on each side. And as like if there's more people playing at that time, then they'll replace the bot player. But bot players are really annoying because they can't blow themselves up like real players can, so they can't do extra damage that way. And bots, although they're like way more accurate than the average player, they also are the dumbest motherfuckers that they won't contest captures at all. Sometimes they actively drive out of ones they are currently capping. Um, whatever vehicle they tend to lock onto first, they'll keep locking onto that and attacking it, even if other vehicles are closer and much more present there and stuff. So like bots are just really annoying, and sometimes they won't shoot their guns if you're like too close to them with certain guns, even if they have a clear shot. And so like they'll just pretty much just sit there and let themselves get all their weapons and shit shot off. I burned the roof of my mouth. Rip me. Damn. I got just the situation for this, unfortunately, Mary. Everyone hold an F in chat for Mary's burnt mouth. Dude, imagine the one where Big Bird isn't talking, he's just standing there. Imagine looking at him like that as that music plays when you die. You just come out and like he's the Grim Reaper. Just give that imagination for a second here. That's the thing you see upon your death. Just a floating Big Bird in the void with like some like orchestral music indicating your death. And he's like, yeah, he's just the Reaper. Brushing hot cocoa for no reason is bad. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks when you're thirsty or hungry and for like some hot thing, and you're like, I can't wait for this to cool down. I need it now. And then you burn yourself, and you're like, okay, well, someday I'll learn. Probably not though. Like I burnt my tongue a little bit like last week on some. It's like some mac and cheese like cup thing that you can microwave. And I was like, yeah, I want one of these. I'm like, and then I warmed it. It's like I'm hungry now. And I bite it, and I'm like, okay, there, yeah, cool. Can't wait to like barely taste anything for the next like 2 or 3 days. But at the end of the day, I suppose it's worth it. But anyway, so cross out. How do where would I rate it? I don't know. Like I want to say a 7 because a lot of it is annoying, and the people like obviously they can team up because it used to be 8 on 8. People were able to team up in groups of 4, but now that it's 6 on 6, it is kind of annoying. Like there's no like solo mode, like I said, but like not even like, oh, you play against everyone solo. Like there's no mode where it's just only solos. So if you're not playing with an active group a lot, it can be really annoying because, like I said, your teammates are trash a lot of times, and you'll get put up against like groups of four, and they're fucking all rocking like meta build shit. And it's one of those where it's like, okay, I can kill like one or two of these guys by myself, but like I'm getting no fucking help to take out the entire group of four. It's like, okay, well, what do I do here, right? So yeah, I'd say like a 7 is good score for it. Super Meat Boy, I love the first. I played like the first two worlds of Super Meat Boy, and that's all the experience I've had with it. Because I kind of get perfectionisty. I mean, go figure, I'm a trophy hunter. It's difficult for me to like to move on in the game if I don't have that A+ ranking. And so I got stuck doing like two different times. I kind of got stuck like trying to do that over and over again, and then I'd put the game down for a little bit, and then I didn't get back to it. Same thing happened on Steam where I also own the game, but it's also happened on PS4. I will probably play it at some point, just not like anytime soon. I really enjoy the game style, or the gameplay style with it. I don't think I've played enough of the game to really give it like a proper ranking, but as a general concept, I love it. It is a shame that the PS, like every version after the Steam release, has a different soundtrack because the person that made the soundtrack had a falling out with the creators over like pay, and so they changed the soundtrack. I actually bought the original soundtrack from his name's like Danny Bravosky or something. If you just search up like Super Meat Boy Danny, I'm sure you'd find it. But I bought his original soundtrack from Bandcamp because he sells it because he has the rights to it completely, which is cool. I think more artists should do that. Not and not to say they haven't tried. I'm sure there's a lot of shit like, hey, we're just not going to contract you if you don't like seltzer. You know what I mean? So I'm not like putting it on the artist's fault at all. But I hope that more have that sort of stake to it, right? Because even though, like, for example, I was talking earlier about the soundtrack of like Jack X, right? And that was made by someone named, I want to say Billy Holothel or something. Do I know how to spell this? Jack X. Billy Billy Howardell. That's what it is. Okay. Oh, there's a fucking interview? Ooh, I'm gonna have to read that later. I'm gonna have to read that fucking later. Hell yeah. But anyway, yeah, so he does the soundtrack of Jack X specifically, but the main guy who does the soundtrack for like the other shit is Josh Mansell. Josh, right? Yeah. Okay, I wanted to make sure it was Josh. I knew it was Mansell because the idea that the word cell at the end of it, Cell. It's funny just because the idea of like Power Cell, which is like a thing from Jack and Daxter, but he does the soundtrack to the original like Crash Bandicoot games as well, and also the first three Jack games. And so it's like, oh, this guy's like the soundtrack to your childhood sort of deal. And so it's cool. I don't think he owns the rights to those songs specifically, but I know he was able to like semi recently upload on his Bandcamp like alternate versions of like Jack 2 soundtrack, which is really cool. And I bought those because like it's just cool hearing different like versions of like songs that either weren't finished or they got made as a different version and later were like picked apart for other shit. So that was cool. Satisfied? Yeah. Ouch. Yeah, that's fair. Putting the ice cream instantly cooled it. It's something I'd be willing to try. It almost to me sounds like almost like a frozen hot chocolate sort of scenario in that sense. Not like completely, obviously, but like I've had that before, and that's pretty bomb. But yours obviously wouldn't be the same because it'd just be like hot out the gate. Still, just ask myself if I want to play Bloodborne today or not. Ooh, you're gonna be trying the Souls games, the Souls adjacent games. Oh, good luck with that, Mary. I don't envy that. It was good. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Okay, anyway, where was I at? Okay, so let's cross out. See, I'm not gonna rate Super Meat Boy though. But yeah, I'd recommend everyone go try it. Let's see, where do I want to end this? I think I'm gonna end this particular one right before Kingdom Hearts 3 because I don't want to go to like a whole thing. I've been streaming for what, like, yeah, 50 minutes. We'll just wrap up these last couple then. Hitman Go and Lara Croft Go. So they're really weird because they're like on a chessboard thing. Like if I Hitman, this is one of those where I need to have the visual of it. we're just gonna open that, copy and paste that, and then open this. Yeah, so Hitman, yeah. So it's like this weird like grid thing that you move your pieces along. And as you move them along, usually guards will go like different spots sometimes, like on a preset thing. And so you're it's like a puzzle game, right? And the Lara Croft Go is similar to this as well. And I liked it, but yeah, it's just very odd. And I think specifically these games aren't even available anymore for like there's some weird thing because it's like they're on PS4, right? Both these games, PS4 and Vita. But for some reason, you're not able to download these games off the PS5 store, even though the PS5 can run PS4 games. So there was a very odd thing about that. I don't know why. These games are cool for what they are, and they're pretty cheap. I'd wait for them to go on sale though, and they're nothing too special. Like a 4. They were like fine for their one experience. They are quite long though. At least I remember the Lara Croft one being particularly long. Obviously, both at the time I assume that they were released. Both these games were owned by Square Enix, which is probably why they were made. So that's what it is. Rocket League. I platinumed in 3 days. That should tell you that I didn't play much of it. I do. I did like the concept of Rocket League. I just farmed all the trophies by myself with a second controller for some of them as well. To do I wasn't good at it all, and I couldn't play the online at the time that I played it because that's back when I had like really shitty internet that wouldn't like allow it. Very technically, I could have connected to a match, but the lag would have been so horrible that like there's no sort of chance of winning because like you need fast reflexes for a game like Rocket League. And yeah, so that seems pretty good. So yeah, that's about one whole line of games. That seems decent. This wasn't meant to be like a super long, amazing video. This is just a short one for like Thanksgiving. In terms of other shit I'm gonna be doing for the channel, I mentioned it before, like a 95% chance of playing Deathloop as in like the new like whatever the next new game it is that we're gonna play for the channel. And I still do believe that. Again, I might end up playing like a Jak 2 permadeath somewhere in between that, but pretty soon we should be doing Deathloop. So I would keep keep an eye out for that. Anyone that hasn't yet can obviously if they watch this later or whatever. I do have a Discord. I'll plug that bullshit in. Yay, yay me. That's a fun plug time. Yeah, thanks to everyone who watches this later or what has watched this now, who's been lurking because lurkers are appreciated too, or who has also chatted. Like Bathory, Peach, and Mary. And yada yada bullshit spiel done. Cool. Let's raid Peach anyway, because like fuck it. Peach was in here supporting GD Gypsy Incorporated, so I might as well support the Peach crew. And Trans Big Bird will be supporting Trans B. Like the icons have to stand up for each other. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, catch everyone next time. Do and raid, and also in stream.